Hi there, Year Six. So, Mrs. Moore and I have been talking with Mrs. Darby, Mr. Buchan, and the leadership team from school, and they've allowed us to do a guided reading session with you guys via Zoom now, as well as doing our daily check in. So, what Mrs. Moore and I thought that we would do is that we're going to make this video to step you through what it's going to look like, what we're going to be doing, and how it's going to work. And we're going to put it up so that you guys can watch this on Friday, and then you can also know what to do for Monday then, so it's nice and easy for you. So the first thing you can see on my screen here is that we've put you guys into groups. Now, we have put you guys into groups with people that we believe are your friends to start off with. We've done this because we thought it'd be really nice for you guys to do this learning with your friends because we haven't been able to do it with our friends at school. So we put you into these groups. Now, if we find that these groups just don't work for us because people are talking to their friends rather than actually doing the learning, then we're going to have to revert back to our original literacy groups. So we've put you into these groups and we really hope that you appreciate that little bit of freedom, freedom to be able to be with your friends and that you guys appreciate that. And the way it's going to work is like this.
So we've got week 5 in that top corner because it will have to change each week. So for this week, you will see that Mr. Martin is at school on Monday and I am at school on Friday. So we had to organise our day because we cannot run the sessions on the days we're at school. So you will see on Monday, there will be only one group running, and that will be my group 1 will run from 10 a.m. to 10:30. So then on Tuesday, it'll be Mr. Martin's group 1 and my group 2. And then Wednesdays, Mr. Martin's group 2 and my group 4. On Thursday, it'll be Mr. Martin's group 3, my group 5, but then Mrs. Milgate will be running Mr. Martin's classes group 4 on that day. And that's because Mr. Martin and I will be at school 2 days. So we're just getting Mrs. Milgate to help us out. So on Friday, because I will be at school, Mr. Martin will run his group 5 and Mrs. Milgate will run my group 3. And that will be from 10 to 10:30. Now, it's really important that you come to these sessions on time. Now, the reason for that is because we're in smaller groups and it'll only be one teacher there. If I only have one student, I actually can't start the meeting. So if I only have one student in my waiting area, I actually can't let them in because it can't be me and one other student. I have to have at least 2 students to run the sessions. So that's why it's so important that you show up to these sessions. And that's a rule that Mr. Buchan has put in place. That isn't a rule that Mr. Martin and I have put in place.
Yeah, so it's really important, guys. We say be there at 10 o'clock. Please try and be there at 10 o'clock so we can start straight away. We can make the most use of our time because Mrs. Moore and I, as well as doing these Zoom sessions with reading, we've got our normal Zoom session that we do in the morning, and Mrs. Moore and I still have to do a lot of feedback to everyone. So we'd appreciate if you guys are on time. It's going to make our day a lot easier as well.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of accessing these Zoom meetings, Mrs. Moore and I have done it, so it's very easy for you guys. If we have a look in our Google Classroom, you'll see here, Mrs. Moore and I have actually scheduled all of these different Zoom meetings to come up. So
I was going to say, Ms. Martin, can you just show them the topic? Yeah. So we've got a guided reading Zoom link topic now.
So what will happen is that Mrs. Moore and I have scheduled these meetings and this link will come up for only specific groups. So for example, if I'm looking at my group 1, that is Ava, Charlotte, Taylor, Emily, Lily, and Ava Attard. Your Zoom link will come up and it'll become live on Tuesday the 10th at 8:30. So it's just going to be up there. You guys will need to make sure that you are in that Zoom link and ready to go at 10 o'clock. So that'll
it is a different Zoom link to our 9:30 Zoom link.
Yes, different Zoom link as well. So what you guys will need to do is that you'll have to have a look and see what day and what time your Zoom link is. And then that Zoom link will become active for you guys on that day that you're actually going to have it. And you guys just need to make sure that you enter that Zoom at 10 o'clock so we can get started as soon as we can.
Yeah.
So what are we actually going to be doing in these Zoom in these Zooms.
And because we're going to be doing some reciprocal teaching, which is our informative text. And that's because we're moving on to, well, we're going to continue our work with informative text. So this next week in your writing, you're doing informative. So we're going to continue that into our reading and our reciprocal reading. So we're going to start, we're all going to have access to a doc, and that's also going to be on our Google Classroom. Mr. Martin, I was going to say,
Right
there
there.
it is there.
Week 5, it's the same text for everybody.
You do not have to read that text before you come to our session. So you just need to be able to click on that link when you come to our session, because we're going to run it just like we normally would our reciprocal reading or an informative text discussion that we would have in the classroom. So the first thing we're going to do is some predicting. What do you think and why? That's how we're going to start it.
Second thing then will be Year 6. We're just going to actually go reading through the text. So we're going to be reading to make sure we actually comprehend and understand what's happening in the text.
Talk about any words we're not familiar with, talk about any misunderstandings.
Yeah, and that's going to lead us into clarifying. So is there anything that we're not too sure about? So after we're reading, as we're reading through it, if we're not sure about something, we can put our hand up and we can go through and say, all right, I'm not too sure about what this means. And we can talk about it as a group like we normally would if we're reading in class.
Yeah. Questioning. So then we're going to go into questioning the text and questioning why they used. And we have so much knowledge now about language features and the reasons why authors write a particular way. So we'll be using all of that knowledge that we've got to look into the text that we're doing right now. So why did the author start like that? Or why were they asking those type of questions? Why did they give us that information? So we're going to be thinking about, sorry, Mr. Martin, what did you?
How they engaged us, what happened, who was involved, questioning the text.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we're going to be doing, guys, we're going to be doing some summarizing of that text. So thinking and putting together what the major key features of that text were and telling us almost like a summary of what happened in it.
Mr. Martin, am I correct in saying that that's a literacy group activity as well?
I think it is a literacy group activity, but for a different text.
Oh, for a different text.
Yeah.
So we're going to be practicing that in our guided sessions, and then you can do it in your session after for our literacy contract.
Now there is a task to do after you guys do your guided reading session. So on our literacy contract, you'll be able to see it, but you guys will read it, and it says very clearly that you cannot do that task until you've had that guiding reading session with your teacher.
And they're just some questions about the text.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. Some questions about the text.
Yeah. All right, Year 6, I'm really looking forward to working with you one-on-one and having some of our conversations that I have so dearly missed that we haven't been able to have in the classroom. So I'm really looking forward to meeting up with everyone. And we'll continue this the following week. If it works really well, we'll continue to do this the following week as well. Yeah,
we're really excited for Year 6. It's going to be another chance to interact with peers and do some really good learning together.
All right, see you later, Year 6.
Thank you, Year 6.